right, everybody. Hi there. Great to
Hi.
see folks.
I'm gonna mute
And so, welcome to our Animist gathering. It is the 18th of July. And so, there's going to be, I think, four of us, one, two, three, five of us sharing today. So, that's great. Um, and I hope you are well. Anyone watching now or later, hope you're taking care of yourself and others as well. This is one thing that we're able to mm, work out right now is how well do we care for ourselves, but also others. A lot of issues up around that. And so I hope that we're all able to take care of ourselves and others with our actions. Amid these COVID times, a lot of us are in Arizona right now, and we got a lot of that going on, as does other places. Um, so let's see. Um, does anyone want to share first? If so, just unmute yourself, and those who are watching can.
Okay, I will go first.
Excellent. Okay, let's see. I'll find you. There you are. Great. So this is Elda. Um, blessings, Elda.
Thank you. Should I
Hmm.
start? Okay.
Yes.
I just start by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath. Inhaling through the nose and just exhaling through the mouth. And just softening your forehead and locking your jaw and softening your shoulders. And just listen to the words. I draw upon the river of inspiration that I may open to creativity. I will walk unafraid into the depths of my imagination and welcome the adventure in discovering myself. I will unleash the ties that bind me and allow personal freedom and intuition to guide me on my river journey through life. I carry within me all forms of creative energy. I open my senses to experience and reflect nature's beauty, my intuition, my life experiences, my true essence. I will not always be calm. Waves of sorrow may disrupt my travel. Stones may block my path. But my steadfast presence will flow over me and through me. My knowledge will guide me to calm waters and restore my spirit. I will sharpen my mind to my life's purpose and navigate each day with kindness and love. I will unlock my voice so that I may speak clearly and open my ears to hear with compassion and understanding. I will honor my gifts this day. Loosely translated by Susan Keyes, Prayers to Saravati.
Helpful words. Thank you, Elda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you, Elda.
Is anyone ready to go next? Okay, I'll go. Um, so last week I shared it's not exactly a video, it's a video file, but there's just one slide for an audio that was one of maybe 8 or 9 poems that I wrote over 10 years ago out in out in nature, being off grid for a while, and I started hearing these these poems, rhyming poems around different subject areas. Each one that there's a and I'm going to share one today. So each one is some form of a conversation between a spiritual seeker who is trying to figure out how all these new things work for them and their internal conversation with their teachers, but not in physical human form, but they arrive in the seeker's head. That's a lot like how teachings have come to me. And so this week, the one that wants to be shared is called True Voices. And I would say voices in the head are one of the subject areas that I have shared about my entire time doing this work, mainly because they came on for me at the beginning of this life experience as an adult. I don't remember having them before. And then in my mid 20s, with this one experience, then I started hearing voices. And I work with a lot of people who hear voices. We all hear voices. It's just what kind of voices. There's personality voices. There are um, there are cultural voices, meaning a lot of critic voices about what you should do, what you shouldn't. There are other people's voices that we have enabled or taken in that then they become our voices, but they're not really our voices. Like if people have told you things, told us things in the past, then we might take that on and say it as if we're saying it to ourselves. And then there's also a whole other camp of voices that aren't us. And some might be bully-like, and others are teacher-like. So that's a whole world to navigate. And since culturally it is publicly stated that to hear voices is a pathology. It means that you have something that needs medication or confinement, or that there's something wrong with you if you hear voices. And so this was one of the subjects that I decided to address right away and has continued. And so this this segment is called True Voices, and it is just a couple minutes long. And so I will play that now.
When you listen to the wind, you hear Finn. When you listen to the wind, you hear Finn. This voice seems to echo in my daydreaming head. My attention goes inward on what was just said. I've grown careful to hide it when I'm out in the world, to not let on that I hear them, and be a normal girl. But I have to say something 'cause I need to know why I hear them talking. So I ask in my mind. You are scaring me now. How do I know you are real? It's freaking me out. You are way too surreal. How do I know which voices are true? I need some assistance. I will surely help you. For the only way forward is to learn to discern between helpful and not, dangerous and stern. My dear, there is a map to be read, and you have the key. As you learn what you learn, and see what you see, the worlds come together to strengthen your chi. We are so proud of you. That's why we are here. But we must lovingly warn you. Be clear, my dear. Distraction, depression, and anger too, all will deplete you and cause you to lose energy, time, and your mental health, which happen to be your strongest wealth. So wake up, baby, wake up right now. Ooh, that was close. Thank you, I say right out loud. I continue my walking as I think of this friend who spoke up to help me. I'm here till the end. When you listen to the wind, you hear Finn.
So that was my little bit to share. And actually, in the blank spot, woo, that was close. There's supposed to be a train sound that goes by, or could be a car, but I guess that's another version that I didn't have in this one. So, yeah, one thing. So this Web of Life and also this gathering is from an animist perspective. And so, animistically speaking, that everything has potential for voice, as Jacob likes to say it, and that we can hear them. We are in communication with them, even thems that we are taught aren't whos but whats, that we're taught that they're things like trees, rocks, even the air, uh, the rain. So everything has potential for bringing us a message. So thank you for listening. How about, let's see, Elizabeth, are you ready?
Thanks, Gwen.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My intention for today is that we tune into our summer surroundings for feedback about how to integrate with what's happening in our world and to stay healthy and positive at the same time. And so I have a short little video to play. And while I play that, I'd like you to call to mind, either from your childhood or now or as an adult, what are some things that you love about summer? We have a living connection to where we live. This is summer beauty. With humility, we commit to a deeper level of awareness and to connecting with nature around us.
Yay, I love it.
Thanks, Elizabeth, for all that beautiful memory of what the good part of summer.
Beautiful. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Very nice.
You're very welcome. Now, as I was walking this morning, I was just reminded that we're always surrounded in beauty, and the nature around us has messages for us. You know, it's easy to, for all of us to become bogged down in drama and things that going on in Facebook and texting and on the news. And while we're tuning into that, we can be missing out on what is going on out in nature and the messages that need to be shared with us there. And as I reflect back, like for summer, it's always been like a connection to nature for me, a chance for me to, I'm not at work, that I get to connect deeper with nature and pay attention to, you know, the birds and the cactus and even like the grass when we had labyrinths and the flowers for sure, and the rain, and I feel saddened if I let that slip by this summer because of the hard things that are going on. I think that it's even more vital that I connect to that now. So if you had a chance to think about like what is something that has been a favorite or that you really love about summer and you'd like to share that, I would love to hear your story. Just unmute yourself and share with us.
Well, I'd like to mention that since things have been so enormously hot recently, I have, for the first time without the need to have done so for work, I am getting up at 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning, which is not something I would have done. Normally, the way I consider summer in Tucson, it is my winter, and I stay in most of the day just because the excessive heat and my skin is not tolerant. But what's remarkable, because I live on the Rito River path, is to see the dawn with the Catalinas and to I'll speak to you. Here I am. I know it's hard sometimes to talk to blank things. So I'm a person. But I could show you. I took a picture, a dawn picture, earlier this week, and just realized the majesty of what. Here, I can show it to you from here. There, I don't know how easy that is to see, but this is the kind of stuff, this is what I live for. One of the things I've been doing, which I probably need to stop doing at this time of monsoon, I've been walking in the river. And it's really quite remarkable to go in and see, in fact, around the area where, remember, Jacob, when you did the goddess labyrinth?
Yeah.
And that was so beautiful, but it's in that area. And I want to say, as a side note, there were 2 people that I saw who had pitched tents. And of course, that's concerning to me because of the flash flooding and the fact that I am aware as well that if I'm in the middle of that river, when a flash flood comes, there's nothing I can do to get out. So I am aware of that. But what's remarkable, and it's also remarkable that when I go into the river at dawn, right after dawn, it is at least 5 to 7 degrees cooler than out of the river. So because it's a settled low area. And and of course, the other amazing thing about the Rito is that the bed, at least where I am and where we did that labyrinth, has real sand, like real beach sand. It is fine. And that's another thing for my walking. I try to challenge my legs and my balance, because I'm not getting enough in my house for that. So it's a difficult thing to sometimes walk in the beach because it takes a lot of energy to go forward. But I'm just so grateful to live in an area where I can see nature on a day-to-day basis, see different creatures that show themselves to me, and realize that like I had a hawk that flew in front of me, and there's many very unusual lizards that come up on my path, and all kinds of different animals. In fact, last week I saw 2 juvenile jackrabbits. I've never seen a jackrabbit in life, in real life. And these 2, the reason why I was so drawn to it was one was just jumping and jumping in front of the other, they weren't even playing. It was like some kind of a thing. And what I noticed as I came up on them was that the ears had like little black tips and were much more pointed than the bunny rabbits we have. But it's just, let's just say this is my saving grace, because that's the only real outside interaction I get, except for going to the store once a week. So I am very aware of the need to connect, and very, very blessed to be able to be in a place that gives me that ability, and also to see the dawn. Thanks.
Thank you, Dorothea.
Well, I could share a little something about summer that I like.
Yes, please.
Let me see. Uh-oh. Oh no, that's still showing. Oh well. I gotta get it turned around though. There. All right, so just like our whole yard and everything, the forest is always, whatever comes up, it's like this whole bed of, I don't even know what it is, but it comes every year. So I just wait for it to come and they all hang out together. Same way with the whole yard. But then I have my flower garden, which I'm not one to like weeding and things like that. So in my garden, whatever comes up, some things I've planted, but there's just this whole huge bunch of, maybe it's too bright for you to see, there's this whole line of rose campion, which I've shown you in Quinn before. And they just started growing in here, and I just let them grow. And then there's some of these guys that are, I don't know, they're those lamb's tongues, and they grow, and there's no way to kill any of these. They just grow, and they don't need water. Now I did plant the daisies, but they just keep taking over a whole area. And so it's like that. But this summer, I'm surprised because all of these Queen Anne's lace are all over this part. And I was looking at them today, and we'll see if they keep coming up every year. I'll just let them. And I like them. I made sure they weren't poison hemlock because they have kind of small flowers, but I'm going to let them grow too. And so maybe the rose campions will shoo them out, but maybe not. Maybe they'll learn to share. All the plants around here just seem to figure it out, like what they need, and then they grow and they kind of stay in their own little areas. So a lot of people say, oh, that's an invasive plant. But I don't think of it that way. I just think they seem to manage it. They don't ruin anything. And true, there are some invasive plants that you want to keep out of the forest, but like ivy, those are things that humans planted, and then they grow up trees and they ruin the forest. But Anyway, so that's what I like about summer. All this stuff just comes up and it's kind of fun. And then we get to eat lunch outside all the time.
Yeah,
That's the other thing I like.
that's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So incredibly beautiful.
So for anyone who doesn't know, Sue Ellen lives outside of Portland, Oregon, in the forest, obviously. Thanks for sharing. That's
Thank you,
so good
Sue
to see
Ellen.
it.
That
Our
really was
forest.
uplifting.
Thanks, Sue Ellen. Yes, it gave me a breath of
Big trees, they love you.
Oh,
Yay,
yay.
trees. Mm.
Thank you for joining us, Stephen. And we are just mentioning what we love about summer. Was there anyone else that wanted to share?
Yes, if I can.
Sure.
I was busy in the kitchen before, so I didn't have the camera on. I had to be doing a couple of things, but now my attention is fully here. I was listening to everybody, but I just had a short poem, and this was in line exactly what Quinn was talking about with voices or different voices. And I asked myself this many years ago, and this is written in 1991, and it's called The Tower. And it's only a few sentences. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Here we go. Blow up the game board. See where the pieces fall. Chaos in the symphony. So many voices clamoring for attention. But which one is you? Lost in the sea of empathy. But where burns your fire? How fierce do your embers glow? That's it.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was like succinctly put. Perfect. All right. Well, I will turn it over to Dorothea. Did you have a share that you wanted? Oh, you're muted, Dorothea.
Sorry. I try to keep up on it all. Really what I wanted to talk about was something that has happened to me this past week that is concerning, in that I would like to address all of us who work in the spiritual realm. I got an email from a friend who I know, well, when I was a metaphysical pastor, this was a person who would come to services and who is on the same path and very much understands much of what we do. And she sent me an email from a person who I consider to be specious, who practices here in Arizona. But anyway, everything in the email, every single thing about the COVID disease, every single thing in that email was a lie. Every single thing. And yet, because it was presented in this spiritual framework, like things like, masks don't work and social distancing doesn't work and a vaccine doesn't matter and all kinds of stuff. And something I'm encountering is people who are spiritual, who somehow think that because they are healthy, they take preventive homeopathic medicines, and they believe that they are spiritually enlightened, that they are immune. And I simply, what concerns me is that there are many people who will be led astray, and that information is of extreme importance, the appropriate information. And what I'm hearing a lot is that people are saying, oh, let's take a break from this negativity. And then saying things like, none of this matters and everything's fine. Spirituality does not mean you ignore reality. And reality isn't good or bad. It is. You know the path to take because you have the right information. So I guess I just want to kind of present that it is a challenge and is something that I'm going to respond appropriately to this woman and let her know how dangerous what she was presenting can be to people who are in a position, anybody actually who's in a position to get to get ill. And I simply want to say that understanding and dealing with reality is not negative. And the information that is coming, much like what you said, Stephen, the information that is coming for us now is not is negative to all of us at this point, certainly, but in fact is an indication of the dramatic changes that are being grounded even as we see chaos. But that's what chaos does. It stirs up the long held and the inappropriately believed things and gives us that opportunity to start anew. That's what I keep looking towards, and that's what I know we are contributing to. But it is important for us to reasonably discuss with people who, not those who have absurd viewpoints that don't want to change, but to make it clear that information, the true information is not in and of itself negative. It is informative, and information can be utilized for the good. And I guess that's what I kind of wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Dorothea.
Thank you, Dorothea.
I think Jacob shared today.
Will dovetail nicely with that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, indeed. Yes, so Jacob has an audio, it's kind of a part 2 to what he shared last time about viral beings. And animistically speaking, right? Viruses are beings, and they want to live, and they want to eat and do all the things that beings do. And so Jacob, is there anything you want to say to set this up?
Yeah, plural of viral is viron.
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 Okay, good to know. I never knew Viron well enough to have to figure that out. I guess now we all do.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing I know you said after you recorded it, Jacob, was that you wanted to be clear that there's a thing about cruelty in here, he doesn't want to give the impression that if anyone catches COVID that there's anything bad or cruel or anything about that person. It's more about what created it. So just to
Yes,
be clear.
This is from a human species point of view, not an individual.
Yeah,
so
not
like
an
as
individual.
Dorothea was mentioning about excessive focus on one tiny bit of spirituality and believing in immunity. This is more that, not an individual point of view, but how our species might think about what we have called into existence, not any individual.
Okay, so I will start this. I'll mute myself.
Is anybody else hearing something? I'm not hearing anything.
such being known as COVID.
I'm not hearing anything either.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Okay, hold on. I did something wrong then. I've done this 100 times, maybe. What did I do? Let's try this again.
Can you lower the volume a little?
Okay. Did you hear it, Jacob?
Just the beginning.
Can everyone hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to my spirit world. We all live on the web of life. We are all connected by the web of life. We live in a sacred and mystical land here in Tucson, Arizona. This land taken from the Tohono O'odham people. I work to dispel the colonized mind. I work for freedom. I acknowledge past injustice and act to transform the thinking that made it possible. I am an animist. I believe all things have the potential for voice, and that voice is liberation. Today, I will continue to explore the world of the viral beings, specifically COVID-19. Until last year, there was no such being known as COVID-19. Where was it created? And why now? From an animist point of view, COVID-19 has a home in the minds of humans, in the actions of humans. The human creation of this viral being was called into existence through acts of cruelty. Thoughts of cruelty, intentional or not, are the life force, the awakening, the summoning of viral discord. The viral beings are eminently logical, intentionally practical, and solely focused on fulfilling the desire of consequence. In the case of COVID-19, human cruelty manifests viral consequence. The disrespect and destruction of the natural world by human selfishness and the refusal to live in peace with any other life form has consequence. Sickness and discord is the harvest in the garden of oppression. The appearance of COVID-19 is a cry from the earth. Stop the war on life. Stop the self-righteous thoughts of stealing from the weak. Abandon the justification of thievery. Yes, it will be difficult, humans embedded as we are in the normalcy of tyranny, but we must try if we desire to continue to inhabit this sacred and mystical land. COVID-19 may only be the beginning of the viral being's response to cruelty in a world seated with oppression. What is to be done by the individual animist? How is it possible to escape the irrational normalcy of destruction, embedded as we are in a system that seeks to imprison our minds, to cripple our potential and blind us to the possibility of life without cruelty? Cruelty created COVID-19. If humans refuse to learn this, new varieties of sickness and discord will appear in birds and grazers and in life forms not considered worthy of notice. This discord will jump into humans and crack the code of communication as the two-legged share the consequence of cruelty with each other. What is to be done? Where to begin? What if kindness and consideration for the rights of other beings has a protective effect? What might occur if a selfish thought is replaced with a kind action? What if COVID-19 cannot be conquered, but only empowered by a war against nature? What if there is no vaccine, but embodied love? What does this mean on a practical level? Know the challenge. See the challenge as communiques from the spirit of cruelty. Understand that there is a recipe for cruelty, and we have the power not to taste it. Consider the steps of manifestation of viral beings. They have no time, only the recurrence of now. The communication of viral tactics, the infinite strategies that may be useful to reflect to each other. The viral beings are the ultimate shapeshifters, patient and responsive to the natural world, the world that would exist without the excess of human greed. It is believed by some scientists that the appearance of a viral pathology requires a number of viral particles, each with a tiny difference, coming together, exchanging information, becoming united in a new way to deceive the immune system. A deceived immune system becomes as a clear-cut forest with no ability to withstand the cytokine storm. The cytokine storm is as the excessive rainfall on the burned down forest. The water falls too fast and too late to extinguish the inflamed terrain. The debris of the burned runs into the channels of circulation and impedes the flow of life force. Ultimately, the accumulation of ashy dead mud extinguishes life. The surge of good intentions after the destruction is fatal. Water at the correct time is helpful. Water, too late and too much, sets back and destroys. A cytokine drizzle that is sustained may extinguish the inflammation without destroying the circulation of the breath of life. So what is to be done? Consider that it may require at least 8 clues come together in a viral being to successfully destroy the host. Consider that they all must come together in a timely manner for a successful cellular invasion. The response of the human to each arrival determines the future of the infection. As the viral beings begin to assemble, each arrival is an opportunity to empower the cytokine drizzle. The embodiment of this cytokine drizzle is love. It is timely, it is balanced. The appearance of love will not be accepted. The viral beings will not be deceived. Timely and sufficient kindness appeals to the cytokine drizzle. The unleashed power of the immune system will quench the inflamed. The cytokine drizzle requires that the viral beings not be able to communicate, to exchange tactics, to share strategies. This is why quarantines are effective. Small numbers of humans contain a few clues to cellular invasion. Limit the congregation of humans limit the virus of infection, empower the immune system, call to the clouds of the cytokine drizzle, dampen, not drench, the viral arrivals. The cytokine drizzle responds to love. The cytokine drizzle manifests through kindness. The viral beings of discord are reflections of human history. They cannot be destroyed. They can only be transformed in human time. One kind action, and then another. Timeless actions of love, offered to eternally patient beings with no motivation other than the reflection of human intention. Embedded in a culture of disrespect and destruction, acquaintance with the viral beings is inevitable. We hope our response is timely. We hope our invocation to the cytokine drizzles is heard by the spirit of our immune system. May we extinguish the hidden tendencies of discord within us. May the viral beings perceive the reflection of kindness within us. Thank you.
Gracias.
Wow, Jacob.
Wow.
I would have to hear that about 10 times to like really let some of that sink in.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm going to ask if it's possible that you post that on the web page or the Facebook page, because God, a cytokine storm, what a fabulous idea versus a cytokine
Drizzle.
drizzle. Just
Yeah.
I mean, that's just about everything I was talking about, because it is putting the spiritual reality into fact rather than trying to change the facts because you think you're spiritual.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I will. I will put that up in YouTube and then
Yes,
put it with a still image and then put it at Web of Life Animus.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's a whole expanded way to interact with these beings that are definitely moving through the populations of humans now. And we can't deny that they're here. They are here and they are running amok and they're doing what they want. And we have the choice of either inhibiting what they want or doing things that give them free reign and let them do what they do best. But humans don't really come out that great on the other end when virus beings are able to do whatever they want. It usually negatively affects humans way worse than trying to inhibit their will to survive, right? I mean, they're like any other there other beings could say that humans are is a virus, right? So when that we're plowing through everything and eating everything up, and that's true.
Yeah.
That, you know,
Maya could say that.
yes, absolutely. For sure.